We are looking at Meg's Above the Water Butterfly, commentary by Coach Chris. We'll let this run real quick. Very solid turn and glide. Meg is doing an excellent job with her mechanics on butterfly. When we get underwater, we can take a better look at the pole mechanics and see how we can get more power out of it. But the timing above water is really, really good. Now, this is the only thing that concerns me. She's not finishing her stroke underwater, and you can tell because her arm's coming out and it hasn't finished pulling. She needs to push that arm. Right now you can see, looking at this angle right here. Looking at that bent angle on both arms. She's bringing the arms out before she's finished the stroke. You need to straighten the arm underwater. Let's see if we can go a few frames earlier. So she should still be pushing. She should push all the way through with the straight arm and then let those hands exit. But she's not going to finish all the way back. She's going to pull the hands out early. And all that's left on that line right there, this space right here, that is the power she's losing on that pole. So she's got all the technique, she's got all the timing, it's just she's not getting enough. And we'll see that more when we get underwater with it, because that's going to be real obvious when we see that underwater stroke. She does straighten the arm up nice. She gets the pinky up for that recovery. She just keeps the pinky up a little too long. If you see here, her hands are entering and the pinky is still up towards the ceiling. She wants to let that arm roll right when she gets to this point, this Y position. You get to the Y position and you need to start letting that palm flatten out to palm down as you reach forward. That's a much more comfortable position and more neutral position for the muscles of your shoulder and neck and chest. When you have that pinky up above your head this high, what happens is you're actually twisting a bunch of those muscles out of a neutral position. It's going to tie you up and fatigue you as you go through more fly races. So very important she flattens out those hands as she crosses through this Y position and then gets them in palm down. She does turn them palm down under the water here, but she needs to get that done above water. Great timing on that breath. Again, look at how early she gets that head up. That is perfect. She's still got the second half, the back half of her pull to breathe and get that head down. So she's got plenty of time getting that head down. Really nice timing on that. She just has to watch. Like most people, and you can see here she's hitting that Y position with the pinkies up. Like most people, when she fatigues her and later in races, and as she does longer butterfly races, she's going to have an issue with maintaining that early breath. Your breath just gets later and later in the stroke. So the better she is at getting the head up and getting the head down early, the less a problem that's going to be later on. Now she's getting to the wall. A little bit tight. You can see she bends her elbow. She doesn't keep that distance from the wall. When she hits the wall, she needs to make sure she keeps her arms straight and doesn't let that body come closer to the wall. That's the hole, that's the window that she's going to bring the legs up through. Right now, she's got to go into the wall and out of the wall with the upper body in order to get the legs there. But she stays super low. Her hand recovery is real nice and tight. So fundamentally, she's got a lot of the basics down. Good glide. A little bit small on the kicks. We'll see those underwater. And again, just keeping the pinkies up. This is the worst timing of all her strokes. The other breaths were great. She got the head up early, the breakout stroke, and this is why coaches always say, don't breathe the first stroke on a lap. Don't breathe the last stroke on a lap, but don't breathe the breakout stroke. And this is why, because they're risky strokes to breathe on. And here you see why. She's trying to do something different. She's breaking out. She's coming up at the surface at a different angle with different timing. And look how late it's going to cause her breath to be compared to her other strokes. Her head's up way later than it normally is. And so her head, she doesn't get the breath in, and her hands get way out front. That is just going to kill her momentum going into that first stroke. And then once she gets going, up early, back to our perfect fly timing. So that's kind of a good takeaway. Got to be careful on those breakout strokes, that first stroke of the lap. You have to focus extra hard on timing that breath, and it's always safer to just not take it. It may feel good, but it's going to kill your speed and make you work harder if you take that extra breath. Next, let's move underwater.